I need to tell you something, and I need you to really hear it. That feeling inside you, the one that whispers you're not good enough, not successful enough, not impressive enough. The one that makes you look at other people and quietly wonder, why does it seem so easy for them and so hard for me? I know that feeling, because I spent most of my life trying to outrun it. My name is Daniel. I'm 79 years old, and for nearly 50 years, I believed something that almost everyone believes. I believed that if I became successful enough, rich enough, respected enough, that quiet voice inside me would finally disappear. I thought success would fix my insecurity, but it didn't. In fact, it made it worse. So sit with me for a moment, because what I discovered after half a century of chasing success is something most people never figure out until it's far too late. Let me tell you where it started. I grew up in a small apartment above a grocery store. Nothing fancy, nothing impressive. My father worked 6 days a week delivering supplies in an old truck that barely started in the winter. He was a good man, a quiet man, but I remember something very clearly. The way people spoke to him, not with cruelty, but with that subtle tone people use when they think someone is small. I saw it when I was maybe 11 years old. A man in a suit walked into the store one day and spoke to my father like he was invisible, like he didn't matter. And something inside that 11-year-old boy hardened in that moment. I remember thinking, that will never be me. I decided right there that I would become someone important, someone successful, someone people respected, because in my young mind, respect meant safety, and success meant worth. What I didn't understand back then was that I had just made a silent deal with my insecurity, and that deal would quietly control the next 50 years of my life. So I worked harder than anyone around me. While my friends were out enjoying their 20s, I was staying late in quiet offices under fluorescent lights. While other people were traveling, dating, living, I was chasing promotions. Every achievement felt like proof that I mattered, proof that I wasn't the small boy standing behind that grocery counter anymore. At 32, I bought my first expensive car. I remember sitting behind the wheel thinking, now people will see me differently. At 38, I became a senior manager. At 45, I had the house, the title, the tailored suits. From the outside, it looked like I had won. But here's the strange thing nobody tells you about success. Every time you reach the next level, the insecurity quietly moves the goalpost. You don't feel complete. You just feel temporarily relieved. And then the voice comes back, telling you, not enough yet. I remember one night very clearly. I was 46 years old. I had just been promoted to regional director. Corner office, higher salary, people shaking my hand all day. Congratulations, Daniel. You earned it. You deserve it. That evening, I stayed late at the office. Everyone else had gone home. The building was quiet, almost completely silent. I walked into my new office and sat behind the big desk for the first time. The city lights were glowing outside the window. I should have felt proud. I should have felt victorious. Instead, I felt something I couldn't explain at the time. A strange emptiness. Like I had spent 20 years climbing a mountain, and when I finally reached the top, there was nothing there waiting for me. Just another mountain in the distance.
And the strange part was, from the outside, my life looked perfect. The house was bigger now, the car was newer, My name carried weight in the company. But something else was quietly happening while I was climbing. Something I didn't notice until much later. I was slowly disappearing from my own life. I missed birthdays, I missed family dinners, I missed small, ordinary moments that at the time didn't seem important. I kept telling myself the same thing everyone tells themselves. This is temporary. Just a few more years of hard work. Then I'll slow down. Then I'll be present. But life doesn't pause while you chase success. Those moments you skip, they don't wait for you to come back. They simply happen without you. And one day you realize something uncomfortable. You built a successful life, but you weren't actually there while it was happening. It took me a long time to understand what was really happening, because the problem was never the job, and it wasn't the money either. The real problem was something much quieter, much deeper. My insecurity was still there, exactly where it had always been. You see, I believed success would silence that voice inside me, the voice that said, "You're not impressive enough, you're not important enough, you still have something to prove." But success doesn't kill insecurity, it feeds it. Because the moment your identity depends on achievement, you can never relax. Every success becomes something you have to defend. Every failure feels like proof that the voice was right all along. So you keep running, not towards success, but away from the fear of not being enough. And then there was another trap, a trap almost nobody talks about: comparison. Once you start measuring your worth through success, you also start measuring yourself against other people. There was always someone with a bigger office, someone with a better title, someone making more money. I remember sitting in meetings with executives who were more powerful than me, and suddenly that same old voice would whisper again, "You're still behind. You should be further by now." And the strange thing is, those men were probably hearing the exact same voice in their own heads. Because insecurity doesn't disappear when you climb higher. The ladder just gets taller, and the higher you go, the more people there are above you. So the race never really ends. It just becomes more exhausting.
Let me tell you something strange about insecurity. It doesn't disappear when you become successful. It simply changes its disguise. When I was young, I thought people were judging me for being poor, so I worked until I wasn't poor anymore. But then the insecurity found something new. Now it whispered things like, "You're not as successful as him. You should be further ahead by now. What if people find out you're not as confident as you look?" And suddenly, the same old fear was back, just wearing a much more expensive suit. That's the trap no one warns you about. Success doesn't silence insecurity. Sometimes it amplifies it. Because the higher you climb, the more you feel like you have something to lose. And when your worth is tied to success, every failure begins to feel like proof that you were never enough to begin with. I wish someone had told me that earlier, because I would have spent far less time trying to outrun a voice that was actually coming from inside my own head. And then, one quiet evening, I realized something. All those years, all those promotions, all that money, all that recognition, none of it would have ever made me feel enough. I sat alone in my study, staring at the awards on the wall, the fancy car keys on the table, the bills neatly paid, and I felt a hollow silence. It hit me like a cold wave. I had been chasing the wrong thing my entire life. The voice inside me wasn't saying, "You're not successful enough." It was saying, "You haven't accepted yourself yet." It wasn't about money. It wasn't about status. It was about worth. I had spent decades trying to earn something that was already mine, my own permission to feel enough. And that realization, that quiet, simple truth, changed everything. For the first time in 50 years, I felt free, truly free.
And here's what I want you to take from all of this. You don't need a promotion to feel worthy. You don't need a house, a car, or approval from anyone else. You don't need perfect timing. You only need to decide you are enough right now. Every hour you've spent chasing validation outside yourself, you could have spent it being present, being kind, being curious, being alive. It's not about success. It's not about achievement. It's about acceptance. So today, let this be your permission. Stop waiting. Stop believing happiness is somewhere else, in someone else, or in something else. It's already inside you. You are enough. You always were. And the moment you truly understand that, freedom begins. Go live your life fully. Don't wait another day. Before I let you go, I want to leave you with one final thought. Life is short. Time is fragile. And the moments you think are small are the ones that truly matter. The laughter you share with someone you love, the quiet evening watching the sunset, the kindness you give without expecting anything in return. These are the things that define your life, not your job title, not the money in the bank, not the applause of strangers. So don't wait to live until it feels safe or perfect or convenient. Start now. Start here. Start small, but start with presence. Because when you look back, as I do now at 79, you'll realize that the only regrets are the moments you let pass without truly living them. You're enough. You always were. And the world is waiting for the version of you who finally believes that.